what?
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Holding Court. And my people that's joined me beyond the algorithm, we got some heavy hitters up here today, And what's up, fellas?
What's happening with you, Playboy?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, we in here.
We in here.
We in here,
man. I like the process of all of this conversation we've been having about what we doing, and I feel like bringing people into the conversation about things that we need to discuss amongst like-minded fellas, is absolutely necessary at this point, right? So we trying to make something happen, trying to make something shake, and we want the people that's out there that follow our content on a regular basis to get invested too. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna put out all the links. Y'all need to get on that WhatsApp link, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us to this point. I know it's impromptu, but we're gonna see a lot more of these until we get to where we supposed to be going, man. So enough of that though, man. What's up with you guys, man? How y'all doing today?
I mean, shit, slow motion better than no motion, but we're gonna keep coasting. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shake. Always come.
Yeah, man. So we talked about a lot of things last night when it came down to how do we want to promote this and how we want to keep going. And then Dontre just said, "Hey, forget it, man. What's up with these dudes that ain't afraid to say how they feel about dating markets or whatever their grievances are in general, right, man?" So I'm gonna let Dontre, you know what I'm saying, take it from here.
I think I represent a select group of men that always kind of been this way, with the players and the hustlers. I always try to keep my nose in that when I was a little kid. You got the cool uncles and you got the cool cousins, and they always been talking this shit in the barbershop. We just here. We just go. We the unks now. So this ain't nothing new. This is some shit they've been kicking. In every barbershop in every inner city in America, niggas been kicking this shit for a minute. So, we just here playing our part. So that's that. And they ain't never been scared to tell a bitch about themselves,
Come on,
they ain't never been scared to fight their baby mama.
Hey,
we here. We just here now. We got a platform now. They had Ricky Lake, Maury Povich. They had
Oprah.
Oprah. Hold up. They had the Queen Latifah show. Montel was that nigga. He had all the hoes back. Montel, nigga. You had my mama, nigga. You had my auntie, nigga. You had Montel. Fuck you, nigga. You had. They used to make us watch your bald headed ass, nigga. I think you even had President Pamela.
Yeah, Kamala too.
You had Kamala too. I want to see it. That nigga had that one motherfucking earring, that bald head, and that good skin, and he had all the hoes. Nigga, I don't know what it was.
He had a TV.
What?
He had a TV show. Shit.
And nigga had it all.
Yeah, when you got a TV show, you're gonna have some hoes.
And
your skin look better than your audience, nigga. That helps too.
Yeah. Hey, look, I remember when before Kevin Samuels passed away, one of the things he was working on was trying to get into a daytime TV type of venue, because he had a show one time talking about there was like no spaces for men to have, discussions about things that interest men. And now we got control of that, you know what I'm saying? So it's up to us how we gonna deal with it, and you know how we gonna frame the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So you guys saw what I was doing, and then we had the conversations that make this this type of that make this narrative go forward, and we got control of it, right? So we just got to be responsible with it. But part of being responsible with it is also talking to the truth, not anything else. Just evaluate none but outcomes, and there's a reason why so many men have the same experiences over and over and over again, you know, and that's what kind of brought us here. So, Keon, what you got for the audience? What you want them to know about you?
I'm on the same page you on, bro. I mean, we ain't trying to be irresponsible, but we ain't trying to be irresponsible. That's why we coming with the truth. The irresponsible, the nice irresponsible lies ain't helping nobody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, it might give a certain crowd the warm and fuzzies, but what the fuck is that really leading us to, fam? Where we used to be in comparison to where we currently are, we have regressed like a motherfucker.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We've been backwards, moonwalking and shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you allow people to tell it, they're going to tell it like we moving forward. You dig what I'm saying? There ain't no forward movement. It's all backwards. You dig?
Yeah. Yep. Man, so on this pop-up show, we want to talk about, what do you think men are scared to say right now?
Whatever they, I think men are scared to, I think males are scared to say it. I don't think men are scared to say anything. You know what I mean? Take whatever come. I think males are scared to say what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think men are scared of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
break that down for the people that might be confused.
So are we gonna bring them in? I don't mean to interrupt, but what's going on with the other people?
I'm getting ready. I'm shooting the link out. I already sent it out in a couple different ways. I'm gonna bring them on in a different way. I'm working that right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Keon.
What was the question again? Should I, smoke?
Yeah, like break down the difference between the type of men.
About?
Yeah.
We all born male, but we have to be grown. We have to grow into men. You dig what I'm saying? We all born male, but until we get until our nuts properly drop, and I'm talking about really drop. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't talking about drop with the influence of what somebody think or feel. I'm talking about yours drop. And you talk about what you feel, and whatever that is, you take the hit for it and you deal with it. But the men I knew, they didn't care about your damn feelings. They just said what it was, and that in a lot of cases, that's what corrected the action. You understand what I'm saying? You got your feelings hurt, but you worked on it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And we all need that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you think about society right now, it's imbalance. You feel what I'm saying? Why is it imbalanced? Because you're missing the real. All you got is fantasy and fluff, right? You know what I mean? So the way I'm looking at it, it's like a divide. You have men on one side and you have males on another side. The males typically follow, what the status quo is. Men like, nah, a man is stand on his own. He don't need no friends. He ain't looking for no, you know what I'm saying? Man, just stand on his own if he need, he ain't looking for all that validation.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yep. The overall is that, one of the discussions we had was trying to bring men that's been raised by women to the lead of the conversation, because I know that everybody's got limitations of what they understand, right. and a lot of the folks, there's a large community of people that's been raised by two parents, but it's an even larger community of men that's been raised by just their mom or had the most influence from their mom. And I want you guys to kind of like lead that discussion, because when we start talking about this, I want to be able to show the split, the line and difference of things that you guys probably had to learn later in life that other people might have been raised with. Because I've heard Dontre say, hey, if you had both parents, you had a luxury. You was blessed. You had a privilege that other people wouldn't understand. You know what I'm saying? So what do the men that fit the same type of upbringing that you came through need to learn?
Well, first of all, you have to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know who your father is, a lot of times you don't know who you are. That's where you come from. You dig what I'm saying? That's what you look like. You feel me? So you're going to go through a stage and phase of just trying to figure out who you are, where you belong. You know what I mean? A lot of times, I mean, if you don't understand, if you don't really know your father, you don't even know his people. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't even properly understand yourself in order to properly operate in this world until you figure out who you are. You know, a lot of times fathers are who tell you who you are. You know what I mean? They give you a direction to go. They give you a bar to set. So if you got that father in the house, you always trying to compete and beat him and outdo him. You understand what I'm saying? That's like a bar. So it gives you something to go after. Without that in front of you, you have nothing to go after. You don't even know what the hell is going on. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
You have a tendency to think everything that you're doing is cool. You know what I mean? It wasn't until I remember the first time I got around a group of men and the energy was so different. I remember being like, what the fuck is this? You understand? Because it was just so different. You understand what I'm saying? I remember that very moment. I was a very young kid, and I remember. So, but at the same time, that's what sharpens you. You understand what I'm saying? It's men who can see if you're going in the wrong direction and they pull you to the side. I mean, how many picnics you've been to? One will be like, boy, you under your mama too much. Get on over here. You know what I'm saying? They pull you away from your mom. You know what I'm saying? So you can just learn what men do. And I think that's the missing part of society. You dig what I'm saying? I'm gonna let my man D speak.
Yeah, man. You know, it brings a smile to my face. You know, when I think about growing up, and then you got your uncles and your cousins, and you got your cousins, your older cousins out there sneaking nigga to doing some other shit to smoke and get away from everybody else. And you got some real stand-up guys who's barbecuing, laughing, joking, talking loud, slapping dominoes, talking shit, that's important, to kind of see the overall experience and the vibrato that come along with men standing amongst other men. Because in the man's world, you got to be who you say you are. As a man, you don't have the luxury to live in disillusion. You don't have the luxury to be delusional. You can't put fingernails on your fingernails. You can't put hair on your hair. You can't put a fake jump shot on your jump shot. You can't put the Philly shell on a fake Philly shell.
That's real.
You can't put a fake jab on a jab. You can't put a fake money on some fake money. You can't put a fake girlfriend on a fake girlfriend. Like, man, what you are and what surrounds you, representation of that. And it's been a very difficult experience when you're raised to be a woman in a man's body. When you look at all these inner cities and these young niggas, I know what y'all young niggas gonna say. I know what y'all gonna say. And I know what some of you old niggas gonna say too. Wow, won't you hit me? Come on. Dog, we live, man. You need to jump in the chat or something, bro. We already live. We live right now. Bro, we're gonna send you a link.
Yeah, I already put it in the chat. Hey, everybody that was on that original thread that's watching, if y'all on Dontre's page, go over there and look in the
niggas.
Yeah,
niggas.
Bro, the link is in the comments.
I'm just trying to find out what nigga kicked out. You gonna comment on Facebook while we on Facebook?
Bro,
goddamn,
bro, like man, come on. If you was trying to get them on the phone, they be like, "Hey, I missed your call."
I might as well pick that motherfucker up. You already look, nigga, just join the motherfucking show the right way, nigga. Go click the goddamn link that was put in that motherfucker. But that's what it is when we dealing with our people, nigga. We don't keep the motherfuckers, boy. Yeah, some real shit. We can't fake it. No. And a lot of us men were raised to be bitches. We weren't even raised by good women. We was raised by bitches. And this is why You know, a lot of these niggas, even I got some in my motherfucking family. I niggas in the street. Nigga, these niggas don't murder. They don't kill. They don't slide. They slide out of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
They do violence out of emotions. It's not the principle that people standing on. It's not a cause in that shit, man. And they learn that from their mama. If you notice, the women and the men got the same energy. It just one got a little. The men will take it there a little bit further than the women.
Yeah, we're gonna go too far.
Yeah,
they go too far too, but our too far is different than they too far.
Yeah, man, don't when he get mad.
Men are leaving. What do you call them on the battlefield when bodies is everywhere? Men are leaving casualties.
Oh yeah, absolute carnage. Like
carnage. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Most people ain't never seen two men like really slugging it out and look like bears. You know what I'm saying? When they really in their bag and gotta actually act like that, bro. It's a different type of energy that come with it, man. That's just all.
A lot of people ain't seen cheekbones on the ground.
Yeah, I seen somebody eye socket get popped out. You know what I'm saying? And eye hanging.
And this is what these women be causing, because the women raise the men to protect them unconditionally. They raise men to crash out for them. Think about it. It's like it's the pseudo masculinity to come along with being a son, husband, or being the man of the house in a single mother's house. It's not even, you're not even the man of the house. You're just being, man. You're not even the man of the house, bro. You're just getting that temporary satisfaction when it benefits them.
Yeah.
You're the man of the house when you taking out the trash, but you better not speak your opinion.
Man, I got somebody trying to do a video call in the chat.
I seen that.
Yeah, bro, just click the link in the chat if you want to get on camera. Hey, I got everybody in one spot. I'm only dropping the link there. So if you're gonna come on camera, click the link and then come up here.
Man, they don't know how to do that.
Yeah, here we go.
I was telling you to get with them.
And I am. This is getting with them. Hey, and you got to be on camera too, because you might have your meat out or something. I need to make sure that you ain't got nothing crazy going on. Nico, you need to get in the well lit. Here we go. Let's see here. You ready to come up? Nico, you almost ready? Hang on. Hey, what's up, Nico?
What's up, y'all?
Hey,
yeah, I got a few minutes to hang with y'all.
Okay, cool. So, welcome to the panel, man. It's holding court. We bringing things to the stand and to the conversation about exploring the dichotomy of like how men that have been raised by women and how they think and what their perception of women is and how it cultivated their current mentality. Because we hear all of the time that the two-parent household is, it's obviously the best situation, but that still doesn't bring the men that's been raised by women to an honest conversation about how they got to where they got to, So it's only right that, we had this conversation out loud. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Yeah, we still here.
Yeah. Sorry, it was buffering with my Wi-Fi. Yeah, so I was raised in a two-parent household, but when my parents got divorced about 15 years ago, it really fucked with my head a little bit. Sorry, I don't know if I can use that profanity on here, but it messed me up a little bit because I realized, it opened my eyes that there was a lot that I thought was normal that wasn't healthy. And so, yes, one-parent household is tough, especially when that one parent is just a woman. And I've seen that over and over again. But a two-parent household where they weren't communicating well and where they had a lot of bad communications, miscommunications, not understanding each other, not putting in the work, that is also bad. And it led to a lot of problems in my family. So yeah, there's kind of on multiple fronts, there's problems I see in relationships and with people.
Yep. What
Yeah.
lets you know, like do you get like indications of how a person was raised all the time through that way too? Or is it just like, how do you recognize that behavior in yourself, I guess?
Oh, well, I mean, I've been trying to do a lot of self-study and introspection. Did a little coaching with some different coaches on relationships and attachment styles over the last 3 years, especially. Been doing a lot of reading, audiobooks mostly. Maybe we'll get through a book or two a year reading it, but um, I've just been trying to spend a lot of time self-reflecting, writing a little bit about these things over the last few years, and really trying to dive into it. But I'm curious. What are some of the things y'all have gone through? I know this. We're about 20 minutes in. I just saw the pop up
Yeah.
for the call, so I'm sure you've been talking about some of these things. But
Wait, before we get into that, Nico, I got a few questions I want to ask you.
sure, yeah.
Okay. How did you how did you get on here? Who you follow?
Yeah, I'm on the WhatsApp group with y'all.
Okay, so are you friends with V? Are you who you friends with?
No, I found accountable masculinity through social media some time ago, and joined the WhatsApp group. And I saw that y'all were going to be on StreamYard tonight. Came up in my notifications. I'm like, oh well, I just got out of the gym. Let me jump on here for a few.
That's real
Amazing.
talk. Where you from?
Myself.
Yeah, I live up in Orlando, but originally I lived in New York for about 15 years in New York. I've been about 20 years in Orlando.
Now you single?
Yeah. I've been trying to get out there and date, but it's a minefield out here. And that's part of my fault, but that's also part this complicated situation that we in as a people, as a species. So it's a lot.
Oh yeah, it's pissing
What
the day.
what,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
what is your biggest struggle out here in the dating market?
Yeah, so my biggest struggle is the women that I'm 37, so I ain't no spring chicken. I've been around for a little bit, but my biggest struggle is that, my expectations are a little higher than they were when I was in my 20s. When I was especially my early 20s, I was more like, oh, forgiving of this and that with women that I met, look past a red flag, this and that. As I'm getting older, I have less F's to give, right? I don't want to put up or, open to put up with as much BS. And I don't have as much time because I work a couple jobs ongoing all the time in this economy. So I don't have a lot of time to be super patient with a lot of red flags, right? For too long as I had the chance to in my 20s. But a lot of the women that I attract into my life are single moms, because with my sexual market value and kind of where I'm at in life and my economic value, I seem to attract in women at that level. Whereas, women that are younger or that, want you to kind of wine and dine them, I'm not really in that place and haven't really put in that kind of time. That's a little more of a long game. So, but the single moms I have got with, I think at first, oh man, they're going to be open to this and that. But then a lot of these toxic things, especially disrespect toward me, comes out within the first 2 weeks to 2 months. And that's challenging. So yeah, that's all right. I said a lot, but yeah.
That was good. And that's exactly what we was looking for. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we want to hear on this platform is your experiences on the dating market in 4K.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give it over to our host.
Yeah. So a lot of the reason that this conversation came about is, it was talking about like going back to the part where you said you were attracted to single moms or you're attracting them, right?
Attracting them, yeah. Like they would hit on me. I would meet them at a work function. One I met at a church, another I met at a real estate function, and they would laugh at my jokes. They would be like, hey, we should go out sometime. So I'm like, oh, less work for me to have to do up front. They're showing interest. They're showing choosing signals. This is a good sign, right? Well, no good deed goes unpunished. There's always, another side to the coin,
Why?
Hey, check it out, dog. You know what we call that? That's
What was that?
survival, man.
Yeah,
These women need help.
Yeah, they do need help. Those three that I'm talking about, they did, and they do.
Man, what would you say your relationship is? What it's like with your mom?
Yeah, so my mom and I are good now. But for the 5 years after their divorce, right? My parents got divorced when I was in my 20s. And those 5 years, there was a lot of tension. There was this aspect of her trying to make me into the son husband, I call it, right? So the emotional support for her going through the divorce, coming to her with all her traumas, right? Treating me as like a son therapist. And I had to learn over a couple years. It took me a few years to learn how to set healthy boundaries with her. And it took some time. We would have arguments and yelling and fighting. And we finally got to a place where when we sensed those things coming on, right? Especially when I sense it with her, hey, listen, I'm going to have to call you again. Or if I'm over visiting her, hey, listen, I'm going to have to go. I'll come back. I'll see you in a couple hours. And that took some time. But it helped me as a man. That one aspect helped me as a man to kind of come into my own, learning those boundaries with her, because I've been able to take some of those boundaries that I learned through setting healthy boundaries with my mom into relationships with women and dating with women. And it has helped me become way less of a doormat to women than I was in my early 20s with women, even my age, that I was dating, going on dates with.
You don't even know this, but before you came on, Dontre had just said something just like that, similar to it. And I've been talking to him about the psychology of why men keep running into single mothers, right? And a lot of the time they're raised by women that probably weren't wives or didn't come from marriage. Like, so I'm gonna ask you a question, and you let me know if you want to answer it or not.
Yeah, sure.
You said your mom was married to your dad, right?
Yeah, 20 plus years. Yeah. So they were together for a minute.
Which did both of your parents come from two-parent homes?
They did, yeah. Yeah, well, my family's Italian and Polish backgrounds, right? So they come from like Catholic upbringings, right? Things are very black and white, more traditional kind of aspects. But, you come to America and things change, right? You get pulled in a lot more directions here. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just stating kind of what I've seen.
Facts. You just stating the facts. And
Yeah.
and the reason being is because as far as like Americans are concerned, on a regular basis, a lot of the times the men that are that are attracted to single mothers or either attract them, their mom was a single mother in most cases, or they grew up in separate households. And if they didn't see their mom and dad cohabitate and respect one another, then their foundation for like their attraction template, it mirrors that of being close to mom, because you're going to be looking at that woman that you're attracted to, and you know what I'm saying, and looking for those qualities. But what you don't realize is that you're basically in a side relationship with your mom too.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah. So, man, anything you want to ask us? Like my boy Issa.
Wait a minute. I think
Go ahead.
we need to swing that down to key.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because we mentioned, we had a conversation about how a woman is really a child that you can't call a child, right? And in the way that, remember we was talking last night how they rebel against our fathers only to try to supplement their sperm. They rebel against their fathers only to be codependent on the sperm of our fathers.
Because in my opinion, that's the form of our father they can control, us. You understand?
That's a deep word.
You can't necessarily make him do anything, but the little form of him, you can make him do it. You understand what I'm saying? And the downside of that is, if you feel like you've been deceived and manipulated over the years, your trust goes out the window once you figure out what's real. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a dynamic of, okay, you look like him, so I can control this aspect. But the more you grow and the more you look more like him and the more you start to find your footing as a man, there's a resentment that comes along with that, because part of the reason that they separate you from that particular dynamic is trying to knock what nature naturally puts into you. You understand what I'm saying? We all wired a particular way as men, right? So, and iron sharpen iron, right? So, like Don was saying, in most cases, a lot of from one aspect. If you think about it, one person controls the entire narrative. They're gonna tell the narrative from their standpoint, the man's standpoint, and the child's standpoint. But the child and the man got a voice. Why do they work so hard to try to stifle it? You understand what I'm saying? If you standing on business the right way. So for me, it becomes very difficult and very confusing because on one hand, you're supposed to trust, and of course you have a lot of love for this person. However, if the dynamic is not on the up and up, it's almost like they sent a wind-up toy out here in public and you on straight player mode. Because like I said, your mind frame is going to be, I got to get her before she get me. You understand what I'm saying? So you ain't even out here, you out here with a paranoia even in the dating market. Not to mention, you really ain't got no objective in the dating market while you young because you ain't never really seen nothing come full circle. You don't even understand what the end game is supposed to be because you never seen the end game. You just seen a portion of the game. You just seen the game beginning, and it might have got to halftime, but you never saw the game complete. You understand what I'm saying? Because, you know, the ups and downs is part of the game. Sometimes you might be up 20, the other team might rally, motherfucker, come back, you down 2. Well, as soon as you go down 2, motherfucker done broke up the team. God damn it, now you out there playing by yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So I just kind of feel like it's a struggle in terms of the growth because you have to have a direction in order to grow. You understand what I'm saying? You have to know. It's like you know, you went to the military, right? V, you was in the military, right? Y'all had a particular objective all the time. Every day there was an objective, right? So when you think about a hierarchy, right? In a home, there's supposed to be a hierarchy. However, you notice there's a hierarchy everywhere but in a black home. They finna start fighting over who's supposed to be in charge. Therefore, nobody never get nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you know that subject, the subject matter surrounding the mom and being raised in that, it's one thing when you're younger, but once you grow old and your damn eyes and you can see, you start to understand a lot of things, and a lot of times that understanding is not going to be pleasing to those who raise you.
The title of this clip is going to be called "You Just Like Your Damn Daddy."
Yeah, hey, look, this is why I needed y'all up here, man. That right there, that exchange, because men don't want to be talked at. They want to be related to so they can respect the game that you know what I'm saying, that comes with the conversation, you know, and there's different levels of understanding in that. And I think you always got to take it from somebody that's already got the experience. There's only, you can conceptualize a lot of different reasons, you know, for why something takes place, but nothing defeats firsthand experience, man. So absolutely. I want to make sure that this is a respectful dialogue about everybody's individual experience, you know. So if you ain't healed from none of your situations, this conversation is going to be real difficult, and it's going to get a whole lot spicier the more often that we do this, because this is going to be a staple. You know, like it's a healing type of situation, pretty much, you know.
Well, and if I could add something in here, I want you to know, Keon, how you say it, Keon?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't see, I'm around here in Orlando area, here in Florida. I'm around a lot of Hispanics. I work with a lot of Hispanic families, and not just Puerto Ricans and Cubans that are from Florida, but Venezuelans, Guatemalans that have moved here, Mexicans. And I see a number of these issues in those families too. My family, Italian, Polish, has a number of these issues. So I want you to know, which you probably already know, but I want you to be encouraged that it's not only African-American families. Now I know some friends of mine that are in relationships, have gone through divorces, that have gone through breakups. I dated a woman that was a African-American woman when I lived up north, who came from a relationship with a guy. Her mom and her dad had divorced, and she had remarried her mom. So I see it there too. But I think it's a more ongoing problem throughout America, even though there's definitely a certain level of intensity and a certain majority that has affected a lot of African-American households, especially because of things that happen with the laws and with the government getting involved in families in the 80s and 90s, particularly.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I want to add to that. I want to add to that shortly.
go ahead,
Sorry,
Nick.
kid.
No, go ahead.
Okay, check it out, man. Let's be very clear. You know, the reason why the reason why African Americans are the center of culture in America is because we was America's first experiment.
The projects.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's exactly where we're gonna go. I want to take them back to 1620, and then I want to go to 1865, but then I want to go to 1965, Lyndon B. Johnson Welfare Act. We knew what we was 20 years in 85.
No doubt.
We was 20 years in the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So
we was the guinea pigs.
So when feminism broke loose into the suburbs, that's equivalent to when crack got loose into the suburbs. It was already in the inner cities before it came out to other cultures and other people got a taste of it, because we were the first ones. The Black woman was the first independent woman in America. The Black woman had to handle the white man affairs, breastfeed his children, nurse his children, and take care of her own children, all at the same time before there was a goddamn feminist movement, man. So for the Black woman to sell out and to want to be part of whiteness, because let's be honest, the Black woman has historically always wanted to be the white woman, which is why she has a fetish for the white man. It is what it is. Even to this day, the standards that they have for the people that look like them is higher than the standards that they have for the people that traditionally had the power and the social hierarchy in this country.
Yeah.
We already been through it. So the conversation that just hit the manosphere 20 years ago, this is something that we've been taught. Sister Sherazad Ali, Minister Farrakhan. These are the things that Black leaders have been talking about. Even our rappers were talking about it. We were talking about how the women try to overpower the men forever because the government gave the power to the woman while there were still nuclear families in the European community, while there were still nuclear families for the most part in the Hispanic community, while there were still nuclear families in the American Chinese community. I mean, our families were literally broken up first. The man was stripped from the home and the woman was given financial resources. If the man was in the home, then the woman would lose the goddamn resources. Black men were thrown into prison. Laws were created. That's what you was talking about. So we have had 60 years of this experience to everybody else's 20 to 30.
And to add to what you were saying, I do believe it's a Western world thing. You know what I mean? Like my man was saying. The difference is you still see where other communities can still have each other's back. Because we so deep into it, everything is broke up. You understand what I'm saying? When I see my fellow Latino people moving around, I see a togetherness, a cohesiveness still. You understand what I'm saying? In most other parts, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Sometimes I see people from other nationalities and I get jealous because they got a togetherness. They got family. You can see grandma, grandpa. You can see the whole flip out there. You know what I'm saying? Our situation be looking like Mother Goose. You understand what I'm saying? Just a bunch of chicks, bunch of kids, you know what I'm saying? And really no order. You understand what I'm saying? And the lack of order is why you see so much chaos. You know what I mean? Like Chicago, the parts of Chicago that's messed up. Every part of Chicago is not messed up. It's just the concentrated areas that tend to have one demographic. When you look at cities like Philly, You know what I mean? Anywhere that this is going on in high numbers, you seeing a particular kind of result, and the results ain't good. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, you know, these kind of panels help us talk and discuss through it. So, you know, because they say iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel. So I think it's important to sit down, talk, build with other guys, and also women as well, because, you know, at some point, you know, some of them gonna be on the panel. We're gonna be talking to them too. You know what I mean? But, you know, the way that this affects the way that this affects men is just tremendous. Is very different. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I can tell the difference between myself and my friends who had fathers in terms of the development, everything. You understand what I'm saying? Even when I play basketball, you can see the difference. So, you know, we just want a fighting chance. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Because in actuality, if you're given a healthy child and you just go break their leg, you just handicap. Now,
So,
you know what I mean?
hey,
Yeah.
I want you to land right there for a second, because I want to bring my man Issa up here. Hey, and to you guys that's not on camera, King Marcos, come up on camera. So I'm finna bring Issa up here and let him run his mouth. And somebody
Peace.
else,
What's good, bros?
yeah, what's up with it, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm well, man. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say too much. I'm more interested in what some of the other brothers have to say. But like we was talking earlier when I called you, one of the things that I see and how being raised by a single mother, how it affects us as men negatively. I have a unique experience. My parents were married for a long time before they got divorced, like the other gentleman that stated earlier. So my perspective is I know what it's like to have the nuclear family, and I know what it's like to not have it. And I also understand the process and the emotional scars that happen when it's being torn away. And there's a difference between young Black men who have never had a father. There's a difference between Black men who grew up in a nuclear family. And there's a difference between Black men like myself who had the family and lost it. You're dealing with three different types of men here. So we can't just loop the single mother conversation and generalize it, because it affects each child a different way. And there's multifaceted ways that families get broken. Now, one thing before I fade off and I'm gonna just listen to y'all is I'm getting exhausted with the narrative of us constantly pointing our fingers at the women, because in my opinion, it makes us look weak. At some point, we need to shift the conversation towards us just building each other. And I think about the movie, The 300. You know, we are at war. Regardless to whether bullets is flying around, they flying around in Chicago, they flying around in Canton, Ohio, where I'm from. That's one war. But the war we fighting is against principalities, government systems, ideologies, you know what I'm saying, and all of these types of things. So the only way we're going to win this is to shift our energy towards the fight. And the fight is not against our women. The fight is not to bash our women or point out their frailties and their insecurities, because if you grew up as a young Black boy with a single mother, we already know where their problems are. The difference is we just never exposed our mothers because of our love for them. So what happens is when we go out here dating, we will overlook and we will not expose those women's shortcomings because we've been subconsciously trained to cover. We cover our mothers, we cover our daughters. Us going back and forth on these platforms, getting into these senseless arguments with women, and just let them women be, man, and let them grow, let them mature, and let them align themselves to the place where they understand what it means to be like a Spartan woman, where she understands to let those boys go at 13 and be with their fathers and come back with the wolf coat instead of getting eaten by the wolf. So that's all, man. It's nice to meet y'all, brothers, man. I'm looking forward to hearing what y'all got to say.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, respect.
That's well said, Isa.
Man, hold on. Let me go ahead and hit the round of applause for him, because you know we got to give everybody their flowers up here. So I want to bring up who was next that I had up here. I think I had let me bring
before we move forward, I just want to say to what the brother was saying, that was a very commendable statement. And you know, I wish that we can get these women to take some accountability and be in harmony with some of the same things that we want. But fuck them hoes in the mighty name of Jesus, man. Them bitches they ain't finna do that shit.
But you know what? One way we can do that.
They got the power and they not ready to give that motherfucking shit up.
But the one way that we can do that people are starting across the country to come into realization about since COVID and since the Me Too movement is, hey, we can't be entering into these government marriages. A spiritual marriage, a marriage in a church, that might be one thing. But where we tie our money to a woman, we know from evolutionary biology, this is not a philosophy, this is not a religion thing, this is science, that women are hypergamous. It's not something some women will try and argue against science. It's been studied across cultures around the world for the last 200 years. So we know that women have this in their biology to strive for money and resources in an unhealthy way if unfettered. And so the way that we help put a guardrail on that, a boundary to keep them safe from themselves, is we don't enter into contract with them where they have free access to money and a court system that can just grab that money when they start feeling a certain way. It's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for us. It's not healthy for society. So we men need to talk about how we can put our own money into trust. We can put it into being accessed only by our direct family members, a brother, a sister, an aunt, an uncle we trust, or even a mother and father, but not to them. They can't get it through us. And there are different ways that we can do that. Prenups is one way, but we have to start talking about how we move our money. It's the same way that the 1%, the rich, they don't have liquid assets. They have their money floating around in all these investments. It's to protect other entities from trying to take it from them. And that's why they're able to win. We need to play in that game in a way, but in our relationships, and that will help bring the power balance back, and it will actually be healthier for women. We need to start talking about how we hold on to that money and how we move it around and how we safeguard it from women's own hypergamy for their sake and safety.
Yeah. Hey, so I want to pause right here for a station identification because we've been on for a second. Let me run this real quick. Glad you made it this far. First thing I want you to do is go ahead and click subscribe. Make sure you like and share and support, and subscribe to the notifications. Then when you get here, I want you to click the podcast link. You see that? Then I want you to go over there to where the arrows are pointing to the Beyond the Algorithm playlist and subscribe there. That way you get all of the updates. And now we'll continue. So for everybody that's following on Facebook, make sure y'all get over to the YouTube channel and follow those instructions. Look for Accountable Masculinity University if you haven't already. To catch anybody up that's just now joining, you know, we got a panel that's growing right now. We're trying to create this healthier conversation amongst men that lead on solving problems, solutions only, you know. And right now we're still weighing out how we got here, you know. And Dontre and Keon, these are my guys, and everybody else that's joining. Shout out to Central Marquise, Issa Ali, Nico, King Marcos. We're gonna get to you, you know. And Dontre, where you want to go with it next? Keon, where you want to go with it next? I'm just here to engineer, moderate, and keep us lined up.
Man, I think we should keep the conversation going. You know, and really just hash it out as far as the topic of this show tonight was how many men are not afraid to express themselves about how they feel about the current state of women, right? We all come from different backgrounds, like Brother Issa said. And we all have different positions in that, and we all can learn from each other as well. Ultimately, like he said, it's gonna fall on us in order to take the responsibility and the accountability of the position that we played and who our forefathers have played into for the state of where things is at today. But one thing that we cannot doubt is that women have power, and they're not afraid to give it up, and they are not holding their tongue about how they collectively feel about us. Is there good women out there? Is there good men out there? I think that both of those are exceptions to the rule. I think there's way more bitch ass niggas than it is real men, and I think there's way more masculine, big back, mean bitches than it is cooperative women. So, you know, we don't have the luxury to talk about the 1 in the 10 because that's us. As much shit as I talk, I'm a cooperative person when it comes to, you know, accomplishing a goal. I talk shit, but I know how to get in line as a man. If we saying, hey, this is the goal, this is the mission, I play my position. And like every other man up here, I feel that energy from every single last one of y'all conversations. But we're dealing with some shit out here. We're dealing with tricks. We're dealing with simps. We're dealing with hyper emotional people, men and women. And this is what's messing the game up, and they raising children. Wow. So I want to hear what all the fellas got to say. You know, what's they thought on it? What's their thought on the current state of the union?
I like to elaborate on what the gentleman was saying, because there's some aspects that I agree with, but there's some aspects that I respectfully disagree with. I think it's hard to deal with the fight of, you know, whatever the government is doing. I think it's hard to deal with any outside fight when you got somebody next to you that you didn't even realize was an enemy. So how do you deal with the outside when you got warfare on the inside? And if you never address the warfare on the inside, how is it ever going to get better? As men, we have to address the warfare on the inside. And if you never address the warfare on the inside, how is it ever going to get better?
Okay, so we have a technical difficulty.
As men, we have to address the warfare on the inside. If we never address the warfare on the inside,
Hey, somebody
I can expound on that for you, brother.
Good.
I would like to.
The reality is,
before you expound on it, I'd like to finish.
We have to see the end from the beginning.
Yeah,
so at this
but I'd like to finish.
point, I'm just not operating from a victim mentality. At this point, it's like we know the end game and we know the goal.
Hey, hold up, Issa. He was trying to land his plane. I don't think he can. I think he got a delay.
Do I got a delay?
No. I think he does. Oh. Hey, Issa, I think you got a delay. He was still trying to finish up his point. I'm gonna come right to you so you can respond. All right. I think you got a delay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I think you got a delay.
Okay. The thing that women have been able to use against us that we're not using is the ability to see the end from the beginning. They have an expected end once they get with a dude. Their expected end is to secure financial security, protection, and provision. That's their end goal. So as men, what we have to do is establish what's our end goal. And once we establish our end goal, that's the only way we're going to change the narrative, because the power is within and all roads lead home. One thing women do historically is monkey see, monkey do. So if we act in a monkey, right, whatever the monkey is doing is what the women are going to want to do. So when they seen us in the late 90s, early 2000s, throwing money at the women in the strip clubs, it wasn't shortly after that before now we got women in cigar lounges and throwing money in the strip clubs. So once we change how we move it and we make things less acceptable, once upon a time, all a woman had to do to get a man was a warm cooked meal, clean clothes, keep a clean house, and give up some sex every now and then. I'm just here to tell you, and I'm here to tell any woman that's watching this panel, I'm raising the bar. You got to come with way more than that. The main thing a woman needs to be able to do is take our resource and multiply it. So when we're vetting women out here, if you're going to date a woman, I should be able to give this woman $200, right? At the beginning of the day. And I go to work and work my shift. And when I come home, it's supposed to be $400, especially for all of my biblical women that subscribe to the Proverbs 31 mentality. She's supposed to take what we have and multiply it. So if we ain't did nothing but trick off on them, sell dope, go to strip clubs, they took what we gave them and they multiplied it. And now it's metastasized into this cancer that we got going on in today's world.
Well, I respectfully disagree with that.
Correct. Yeah.
I respectfully disagree with that. And I'm not even focused on them. I'm focused on us. I'm focused on me. That's a luxury. That's not a necessity. Unless she's my wife. And that's an earned position. However, we talking about just developing to get to the point where you can even cohesively get along with them. Them not getting along with us has nothing to do with us throwing money in the strip club. I was born into this. I didn't create this. So I have to figure my way and navigate my way through this, because we can sit back and say, yeah, I mean, it sounds nice and idealistic. Yeah, they'll follow what we do. Gee, we take care of kids that wasn't ours historically. They ain't doing that. We trying to build families. They not doing that. So I'm not sure what example they following, but it's definitely not us. They are following something, but it's not us. It has nothing to do with us. I personally think most of them don't even like us. That's just my personal feeling. Now, in a perfect world, what you saying, yeah, that's great. But this breakdown didn't happen just because men lost themselves. This breakdown happened because there's a combination of people working against you, which is how your mind frame and your direction was spent in the first place. I personally feel the first thing that, I think a man is his own island. You understand what I'm saying? But you don't even see men developing like they used to. Men used to be able to go to war at 18. Now they can't even leave home at 40. So I'm just talking about the underdevelopment to be able to get there. The end game is always a family and everybody being okay. That's what I thought the end game was when I was coming up. They switched the whole bait and switch, changed everything for everybody, because they not following their man. They following women. They following something, but it's not us. It has nothing to do with us. They trying to stomp over us. And until we address that, that's what they're going to continue to do.
Okay, Marquise, I think he had his hands up.
Yeah. I definitely agree with Keith for sure. One thing, I don't know who was talking before Keith, but you was talking about a woman in Issa. Yeah. The thing is, women do not have an end game. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is, we have to stop presenting marriage and family like an end game. It's a beginning. You get what I'm saying? Men need to really be able to understand female nature and really be able to structure their lifestyle. So then when they do bring a woman into our lives, because we're not coming into their lives, they're coming into our life, we need to be able to have a syllabus for a woman to start a role as a wife and not end a role as a wife, because that's how you end up experiencing that bait and switch, because women don't have a solid end game on what they're going to do, because at the end of the day, you just said it. You said monkey see, monkey do. that already kind of contradict what you're saying that women have end games, because the thing is everything changes based off influence. And when a man doesn't have structure, he doesn't have leadership and authority. And this is something that constantly has to be put on your woman. When he start easing up, then you allow this world to be able to tarnish her mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and then she gonna be able to leverage, all the type of amenities that it is to break up with your ass. You get what I'm saying? So men really have to really start focusing on themselves. They have to focus on what they actually really like and break from some of the spiritual abuse that these single mothers have put on them to groom them to be able to chase validation of pleasing a woman. So you get what I'm saying? I respectfully disagree with that though, but with how you talking, you gonna get played. A female definitely gonna get down on your ass. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, a perfect resume on why she should be a wife, and in a moment she have a kid, because that's when a woman really have leverage on you. When a woman have a child, that's when she really show her true colors, and it's really gonna dictate leadership, you feel me, on your woman, because once she got that motherfucking kid, she'll cut your ass off, get on Section 8, take 20% out of your ass, and you better hope you not be married, because mind you, then she get alimony as well too, and now you going through this whole legal battle. So when you telling me that, you get what I'm saying, women have an end game, there is no type of end game. A marriage is a start. This is the start of your role. You get what I'm saying? Ain't shit ending, it's only beginning. And I land my plane with that. You rock with me.
But what the hell, bro?
I understand where he was coming from though, because I think that it's black men that come from urban America. If you got any Black Panther in you, if you got any Black Peace Stone, if you got any nationalist movement, civil rights movement in you, then you understand that we got a hopeless romantic relationship with our women because of what we went through. We fought for our women, before 1960 motherfucking 8, nigga, the black man, nigga, was the greatest demonstration of love for his woman, nigga, that you could ever see. You understand? So when we were listening to hip hop and we were listening to pop, we were listening to KRS-One. Nigga, we was listening to Brand Nubians. We were listening to these brothers. They were just really speaking, what we felt in the black household. But we have to recognize what's going on. We have to get out of that infatuation and really look at what's happening in real time, man. And that woman that we love and that we adore and that we expect, that India RE woman, that woman, that Maya Angelou, that woman ain't here no more, man. That Sherazade Ali, that woman is not here like that. And she made the decision. Black women collectively made the decision to go into feminism. They said, let's fuck these niggas and let's go get these benefits. Crimson Cure would tell you that. Shout out to Crimson Cure.
Yep.
Crimson Cure would tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. These women chose this. Sherazade would tell you that black women made a conscious decision to get benefits versus her man and her family. And even to this day, if you get with a woman, and I'm not going to say black women, just women in general because of feminism, women are married to their jobs. They're married to Gucci. They married to Marc Ecko. They are married to all these different designer brands, Mercedes. They're married to Weave. These women got a greater relationship with their goddamn salon than they do with you. They want everything but you and will go great lengths in order to keep these things. So that's where the accountability comes in. And this is why you got a nigga like me sitting on the internet with his eyes bucked with a passport, because this is the first time in American history where there's a plethora of women, not American history, this is the first time in world history where there's been a plethora of women and men are migrating to other continents in order to get women. What did Kevin Samuel say? Winter is what?
Here.
Yeah,
Man, come on, man. It's definitely a big shift. And this is why I say we live in a matriarchy. Because
Absolutely.
if men have to have conversations like this just to regroup, then we have to accept that we don't have the leverage. You know what I'm saying? The only leverage you have is just by simply not making kids with the wrong woman.
Well, sometimes in order to win a game, in order to win a game, you don't participate.
That too. You don't play games you can't win.
Yeah, you just don't participate at all. So I'm not, and I want y'all to be clear. I love the sisters. I love, I love all the women, but I'm not finna continue to fool myself. You understand what I'm saying? Because that shit don't do nothing but hurt me. You know what I mean? Your eyes gotta open at some point. And what my man E was saying, that's an ideal situation. I'm sure every man on here would have a better life if they could roll into that situation. You understand what I'm saying? Because it makes life a lot simpler. You know what I'm saying? Like my man V married, you know what I'm saying? His life is a lot more, streamlined. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think we could fix it until we get honest with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's about manhood in itself. And once you just harness that, I think that energy is going to bring that woman into your life the right way. You understand? But in order, you have to deal with it from a foundational level within self. You know what I'm saying? And then you can go forward. You know what I mean? But like my man said, marriage is just a start. So imagine, okay, it's one thing to start as young people. I think it's easy to grow as young people into each other. I think it's hell to put two 40-year-olds together and make it, they got two separate lives. How they gonna put themselves together? I think that's just
some wild business.
You know what I mean?
Wild business. We two grown men. Hey, what's up, King Marcos? What's going on?
Fucker said we two grown men.
They didn't catch it.
I caught it with their masculine feminism.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, but it would be much better if we had them as helpmeets. They want you to be they goddamn help.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hey, it's funny you said that because I was in the Bible today. And I was looking up that helpmate. I said, God, why'd you do that? These bitches don't want us to have no help.
The thing is,
I think we just need to take the help out of the mate.
Yeah, they want you to be their helpmeet. You did what I'm saying? They looking for you to join their life and follow them. And it's like, wait a minute, this just goes against, my whole DNA. This don't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they'll motherfucking wreck the guy. They'll hit an iceberg and then don't want to go down with the ship.
Well,
nigga, we in it. Remember the violin motherfucking song, nigga, at the end of the Titanic? How the fuck I hear the violin goddamn shit and you on the boat? You wrecked this bitch. No,
but what the hell, bro?
Motherfucker, come down with this ship.
That motherfucker said they hit an iceberg and don't want to go down.
Be a man. You a real man. All you gonna get, nigga, is what's that nigga Leonardo DiCaprio floating on that motherfucking raft, nigga, froze as a motherfucker. All you gonna hear is Jack. Nah, fuck being Jack, nigga.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing. The imbalanced home affects the woman as well, because she doesn't understand. She might understand her brother energy, but she didn't never get that father energy. So she don't understand when you need time to decompress. She don't understand that your voice can go to a point where it can vibrate the walls. That's scary to her because she's never had to experience that. So it has an effect on both sides. I just think it's important that as men, we have to harness and start to fix us first. You
That's
what I'm saying?
shit. That's real shit. The only time they call you daddy is when you accidentally slip it in their booty.
But what the hell, bro?
And you know what? It'd be so fucking crazy because now, like with these females, and it's why I always tell that men to get on their shit because, mind you, you don't need no motherfucking female that's making, you get what I'm saying, all this money. Like I'm in the credit repair space, and most of the motherfucking clients I do get be nurses, and they be having all this money with all this motherfucking debt to income ratio. Bitches be having 3,000 mortgages. 1,200, you get what I'm saying? Fucking car notes off a goddamn 2015 Mercedes Benz that they want me to fucking remove from their credit profile, but then expecting, you get what I'm saying, top tier treatment like they the most baddest bitch because they got all of these purchases and all of these fucking debt based off they fucking insecurities. And when you could really tap into yourself and have structure with yourself, you could take the motherfucking bitch from Starbucks that is employee of the motherfucking year. You get what I'm saying? Staying with her parents is in a, you get what I'm saying, confined structure to where she can't be a motherfucking hoe. And you could make a business, you could make a coffee shop for her, and she'll make you, 6 figures a year passively doing something that she loves and under the supervision of a masculine man. But a lot of us don't have our shit together, and it's so easy for us to get tricked by some of the illusions that a lot of these motherfucking super feminists, you get what I'm saying? I call them shit German shepherds of the white liberal women. You get what I'm saying? Present to us, and then we sit there and we get into relationships with them, and then they switch up on our ass when it's not beneficial and it's inconvenience to date you when y'all go through y'all storms. So yeah, it's really vital that niggas really start getting on their P's and Q's and really start understanding what they like and what they don't like and have something to be able to stand on to bring a female in, and never go 50-50 as in, you split in leadership with a fucking female because she gonna lead your ass. Man, she gonna do your ass bogus.
Well, and let me add this to that. What's helped me a lot over the last few years is starting to look at women, and I know that this could be taken in the wrong way, but to be starting looking at them in a way of looking at them like cats, looking at them almost like a whole other animal, right? And I think cats is a great analogy because those things are fluffy, they're cuddly, they're cute looking, but hey, if you get to know a cat, it's not just that, right? And you got to work around and communicate with a cat in a very specific way for it to be friendly with you, or the claws come out if he disrespecting you, if he trying to run the house like it's its own, right? And so to be in leadership with a cat, I got to respect that, hey, this is a different animal from me. And I got to recognize the different things about it. Even though it looks cute and all this fuzzy on the outside, it's got a lot of other stuff on the inside that I got to be careful of and I got to be aware of. And I got to communicate with it that, hey, I see that. Don't pull those claws out at me, right? Hey, if you pull those claws at, I'm not going to feed you the same way that I was feeding you before. And we got to set those boundaries with that cat. And it does come around and show respect when I set those boundaries. We got to do that with women too.
That's real shit. I mean, when you look in the animal kingdom, it proves that. I mean, in them same lionesses, soon as you get your ass whooped by another motherfucking king of the jungle, nigga, she's gonna be fucking that nigga.
Don't get your ass.
Don't get your ass whooped. Eventually, life is gonna whoop your motherfucking ass at some point.
Life gonna whoop your ass, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Life gonna whoop your ass. You're gonna get old. I mean, these niggas out here, nigga, LeBron age, nigga trying to keep a motherfucking goddamn lion kingdom together. Then a new young motherfucker come through, a young Vince Carter come through. You gonna get your ass whooped.
Yeah, you gonna get your ass.
You gonna get dunked on.
Right. The torch gonna get passed in certain games. That's the torch. You know what I'm saying?
Shit,
I gotta go, guys. Have a good one.
No doubt, man. Be easy, bro. Thanks for coming through.
Hey, and some of the motherfucking goddamn in the little monkey kingdoms, the ape kingdom, shit, some of them kingdoms, a nigga will whoop your ass, fuck your bitch, and then you'll become a babysitter.
The fuck I want.
Man, some real shit.
Let's hear from Marco, man. He been waiting.
Marco quiet.
Unmute your mic, sir. I don't know if you're muted or not. I couldn't hear you. Oh man, you been waiting all this time. We ain't got your mic. Oh no. Check your settings.
Yeah, I'm checking it now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Sure. I ain't heard and seen from you in 20 years, boss.
Hey man, what's going on with you, man?
Dude, I'm live here in South Korea. That's how I'm doing it right now. I'm about to get
Talk
started.
about it.
Yeah,
Talk
so
about
yeah, man. So I'm hearing a lot of things that, especially in this situation about relationships, especially with men and women, but mainly we've all had our mistakes with women. And a lot of those things is how we pick and how we are in that current setting and scenario. Experience is always going to be a good teacher. But those lessons learned is what is going to help you develop. And any young brother, we can pass down that knowledge to the next generation, something that we never had. You know, I had these conversations with my old man. My old man lives in Thailand. He's still going through the same situation with women as he's going back through in the States. Matter of fact, he's about to divorce for the 7th time. I told him he needs to retire from marriage. You need to retire from marriage.
Wait a minute.
Hang it up.
That nigga got motherfucking beat. Yeah.
Hey, I told him, I said, you got more rings than Tom Brady. And don't ever come to me talking about relationship advice ever.
That nigga B just motherfucking he Tim Duncan, but this nigga Michael motherfucker.
Yeah, that shit is
He
wild.
Robert Horry right now.
Yeah.
Got Liz Taylor.
Hey,
Man, what the fuck?
That's
I
wild.
love it. You know what I mean? But you know, and I tell him, I said, before you start getting into relationships, focus on you, man. Because at the end of the day, we all gonna be 6 feet in the earth in a pine box. How are you gonna be happy? When you find somebody, you need to find somebody that's gonna be aligned with you. And I know it's hard. Women want, huh?
How old is your pops?
Oh shoot, he about to be 59 and at the end of this month.
That's a young nigga.
Yeah, he young.
He's still got plenty of time to live his life.
Oh yeah, he still got plenty of time.
Plenty.
He gonna probably hop on something else and be like, oh, I love them and put another ring on that one too. So I'll be number 8.
Man, yo, you know it's bad with the sun. The sun they got wiser than the goddamn thing.
Hey, you got to capitalize on mistakes, man. Hey, and that's something that we need to pass on to the next generation.
Well, that's one of the reasons we having this conversation, because it's people under us that need to hear what the experience is like. Yeah. And like Don said, we the unks now. We the uncles now. You know what I'm saying? So we, that's all we here for. You know what I mean? And everybody has added something really good to the conversation tonight. But I'm gonna keep it 100. Damn, 7 marriages.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
all he's the United Nations of marriage right now.
That's the nigga I want to talk to. I want to talk to him.
But what the hell, bro?
Before I make a decision in life, I don't give a fuck what it is, nigga. I want to talk to that nigga.
Yeah.
Because I know he got all the experience.
Yeah. But and like I said, at the end of the day, we have to find, it's sort of biblical. You need to find your Ruth. We try to find who's hot and who somebody's going to be aesthetically pleasing or something like that. Men need to find women that going to be on your team. And I know it's difficult, but it is possible. Like when I got I'm on my second marriage now, and this is my last. Because we've been in it for 8, and I seen my dad. I was like, no, I'm done. Hey, after this, there ain't no more.
But a lot of it is behavior. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of it when you think about, and this is where I get into like the dichotomy of stuff, right? A lot of the time, men are choosing women that come from households full of women that never respected men, and so when they in that mix, you don't know why you picking the wrong thing, because your format, your software come from your mom. And so that's why you keep attracting and looking at women that you potentially have to go help, because you're like Nico before he got off, the stuff that he was talking about, that psychological imprint is real. You know what I'm saying? Me and Issa have had tons of conversations about this and how that influence determines who you pick. And a lot of the guys that I keep saying about the dating pool in general are coming from, the dating pool is filled with single parents. It's filled with single parents and a lot of people that come from unmarried households, or they came from seeing like marriages not being healthy, and which ultimately shows that either the father might have been raised by a woman and he couldn't assert himself the right way, and they saw their dad getting ran over by his wife, or it might be an imbalance in the other way. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some women that have never seen respectful communication between man and woman. If they grew up like that, that's the way that they're gonna date.
Yeah.
So you think about this stat: 73% of our community is in single parent households to this day.
That's the dating, and that's the dating pool right there. And less than 20% of men are are baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? You got the single father community that's got, you know, like a positive control of their kids, but then you got the custodial parent, and that's a completely different demographic. And the reason that that's valuable is that we can compare the children that come from single mother homes to the children that come from single father homes, and we already seen the data where the single fathers produce a better child. You know, in the end game, that's closer in comparison to a two-parent home. So like now we got to look at it like, okay, the guys that have been raised without their dads, and like if their dad was a baby dad, then that's exactly what they're going to be more likely, because you can't replicate some stuff that you've never seen before. You can't teach a horse how to be a zebra.
So the question comes to mind is, how are we going to break that cycle as men?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like majority of these niggas come into dating as customers and not as investments. Like, I'm a like, these niggas is tricking. These niggas are like literally, you get what I'm saying, you know, buying into modern dating, which is now like shit, prostitution. It's like escort service now. A lot of these niggas don't, you get what I'm saying, like promote themselves as an investment. Like, you invest to me and then you get your return on the investment. I tell everybody, like, for people that I coach, like, if she don't pay, she's not going to pay attention. A lot of you niggas first dates be taking these motherfucking bitches to motherfucking 5-star restaurants, buying their ass motherfucking Louis, just spending $1,000 a day just to be seen with this female. And it's and it starts a cadence, and then she starts to expect that. So then when y'all go through y'all storm, she haven't put shit into the relationship, she haven't spent or financially, you know, sowed a seed into you. It's easy as fuck for her to leave, because everything she got for free,
and she raised the same way as her mama. And those dudes that are attracted to those women are raised by them like it.
Hey, what I tell you last night, Don, they got to put it in my hand to make me understand. Goddamn. That's I come from, because real talk, like he said, everybody got to invest. If she ain't invested nothing, she invested in college. She invested in her degree. She invested in whatever else she wanted, massages, hair, whatever. How you come along and she ain't got nothing for you?
Man, they will invest in a nigga that's cooking for them, nigga. They will invest in they will go invest in Chris Brown tickets.
Yeah, like a motherfucker could.
I'll tell you, I'll give you an example of what I did with my current you know, when I was coming through my first divorce, right? I sat down with my current wife now, and I told her, I said, you know what? I need you to sit down right here, pull up this Dave Ramsey, Anthony O'Neill Financial Peace University. if you want to be with me, you will watch this, and you can see the mistakes, and this is the path that I want to take. You know, and she sat down and literally actually watched everything, and then she was like, "Yeah, we need to fix our stuff together."
Now, what ethnicity is this woman?
Oh no, she's from the Philippines.
Yep, makes sense.
Man, I'm about to click
Hey, let me tell y'all about me and King Marcos up here.
Makes a lot of sense.
Me and King Marcos, which is ironic that he's on here today. We've known each other over 20 years. Like I served in Korea from 04 to 06.
Okay.
And he and I were on the same installation in 2004. And then we moved from Red Cloud to Hovey, didn't it?
Yep. Matter of fact, I was there 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And he was already on that train. You know what I'm saying? So like when people were talking about like all of this passport boy conversation, all that stuff is it's not new. It's just now popular conversation, you know? Yeah. So that he's one of those guys that knew exactly what he wanted and he pursued it the way it made sense to pursue based on his career and all of that. I saw him, you know what I'm saying, working that angle from the get-go. But go ahead, Key Marco.
Matter of fact, you know, the funny story is, you remember back in the day, we used to be in the barracks, you used to be playing Marvel vs. Capcom and Madden and all that stuff.
Right.
And I used to wash the clothes with my son at the time. He was born in 05.
I definitely remember you bringing the clothes up there so you could do your laundry. Yep.
He's 20 years old right now.
Man, we old.
He is a sophomore in college right now, majoring in software engineering.
That's dope. Congratulations.
Man, congratulations. Hold up, man. It's a round of applause right there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what? And those 20 years as he's been around, I've been raising him.
That's dope. You know what I mean?
That's the main purpose that's the main thing that we need to impart in our young bucks to break that cycle, to be more active, to show them, to sift through who they need to be picking as their partners. Yeah. The problem is that when you have that 73% that are being raised by single parents, by saying more predominantly single mothers, they're not going to be able to teach that man how to be a man. And so they're going to be bereft. I got a baby brother right now. His mom told my dad that he is dead. He's been dead his entire life for 15 years. Last time he seen my baby brother was 4 years old. Wow. When he graduated high school, he found out that his dad was alive and he had siblings. Go ahead, brother.
No, that was just reminiscent of a conversation me, D, and V was having last night.
And so the first thing that he did was he went and sought his dad. And then he went and sought he figured out he had an older brother. He sought me. And I said, I put him on game, man. Hey, I'm not going to sit there and down talk your mom. That's your mom, man. But here's the facts. This is where it's at. You have about 5 or 6 older siblings. He just graduated last May at Texas Tech in nursing. And he's about to go in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he's going to be working in the healthcare industry, trying to be in the health administration. All because he had to make that one phone call to his old man and talk to me. And I said, hey, look, dude, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Avoid all these skanks right now and get on your purpose. Yep. Because if you slip up and start trying to sit there and impress these dang young broads because they see you got a pathway in life, it's going to bring you down at all times. And he was like, yeah, I've had a couple of days, blah, 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 blah. I said, that's cool. Go ahead and get your dick wet. I don't give a damn. But at the end of the day, that's not your priority. Your priority is building yourself, building your foundation.
Yeah.
Because women, more than anything, you mentioned it before that women are hypergamous. But if you ain't got your shit straight, that's going to put you at a triple disadvantage in life, for real. So he was like, yeah, and I'm telling you this from experience. I'm telling you, you need to focus on yourself.
That's what I agree with that.
This platform should be about making men greater. Sort of like one of my fraternities that I'm in right now. That's all we do. I see a young buck doing the same shit that I was doing when I was younger. Hey man, let me go ahead and pull you to the side, man. I don't think you're gonna want them problems like that. You know what I'm saying? So do what you do. But as far as with women is concerned, that should be the least, especially as a young black man, that should be the least problems in your life. Your problem is to handle the world has coming your way and how you're gonna overcome it. Period, point, dot, blank.
Can I say that?
Go, brother.
That's one of the issues when you grow up and you don't have a male example. You don't even know that shit. You don't have the objective. Nobody gave you the objective. They didn't give you the target to look for. You just kind of out here freestyling. You understand? Your song ain't got no structure.
And more than likely, when it's happen, when you don't have that structure, most young men look for that structure somewhere else.
Yeah, you're gonna go find
bad place.
Yeah, and not a good spot. You're absolutely correct. So I totally agree with you. You know what I mean?
But you know, life is good. I will say this before I even sign off. My whole purpose is make it's about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon over here. I just got back from the Philippines. Me and the wife, I'm about to buy about an acre plus of land and start building my castle.
Respect to that.
You know what I mean? It's great over here. There's brothers everywhere. And one point I will impart: if you know the dating pool is bad in this general area right here, you can do like my old man did in Ghana, because he moved to Accra, and that's the capital city of Ghana. He moved to Ghana. He's like, yeah, I'm going back to the motherland. I'm retired, blah, blah, blah. I said, go ahead and do it to you. Then all of a sudden the broad over there was like, hey, I messaging me talking about, I know you don't know me, but I'm pregnant with your dad's child. I'm like, who the hell are you?
Boy, then he can't got no pullout game. That's
zero.
He give away all his leverage. You just jam him up, huh?
No, it came out to be false. It came out to be false on that one.
Hey, he get with ones that'll try him though, and that's the point. If you don't mind me asking, who raised him?
Yeah.
Who raised him?
Oh, talking about my old man?
Yeah.
My grandfather was in the Navy. He was gone.
So is he from the South?
Texas.
Yeah, there's Simps down there.
That's big Simp stuff right there. You know
I told him, I was like, you need to stop.
But I think it was a generational thing. I don't think
that's what me and Dontre were talking about, that shotgun generation.
Yeah, I think it was a generational thing. I don't think it had anything to do with where you was at, because a lot of them had the same philosophy. You know,
them niggas down south. No, wait a minute. If you in St. Louis, Kansas City, Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, Gary, Cleveland, your folks is from the South.
That's a
them stamp ass niggas brought that shit up there.
Yeah, that's
hey man,
you talking about the track? Cause I'm just talking about.
I'm talking about sucker shit. I'm talking about marrying a bitch that got a whole baby in her.
Yeah. Hey, because I'm gonna tell you though, but when you lost, you lost. You know what I'm saying? When you lost in the wilderness, it take you a while to find your way up out of there, bro. Depending on how deep they put you in there. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I think it go back to slavery. I think that when masters used to come in and fuck the shit out of niggas' wives and shit.
I believe that. I believe they was waiting on master too. I don't believe he was taking nothing. I believe they was standing right at the door hoping he picked him that day. Me personally.
But think of this though. Think about this. Pre-segregation, we was more connected.
That's what I'm saying. So we had survived slavery.
You know what I'm saying? We had the recipe.
Yeah. And
it was right after the civil rights movement when shit went south, and it went south bad. If you look at some of the 1980s videos, they would sit there, especially at 60 Minutes. They would sit there interviewing young girls talking about, oh, I want to, when I grow up, I want to be a single parent. I don't need no man.
Yeah, I seen that, bro. I seen that. PB,
That's crazy to me.
That was in the 70s, but I think that there hasn't been enough information on the trauma that black men have accepted over since slavery with black women. A lot of time the milkman was fucking the shit out your wife.
Yo,
and sad to say it, some of our grandparents now, I'm gonna keep it a buck. They were swinging back in the 70s. They were swinging back in the 70s, but they stayed together through it. But guess what?
Yeah.
There was some dirt. And so when you have that environment, and my old man even told me this, he didn't know what he, because when he had me, he was only 18 years old, 17, matter of fact. He didn't know how to be a father. He told me that personally.
Real talk.
He didn't know how to be a father because he didn't have an example, because my grandfather was always gone. So most of the time he was being raised by his grandmother.
That's what I'm talking about. When I said who raised him, that's what I'm talking about. When that grandmama's baby generation, them dudes that have been raised by grandmamas, those are the guys that set all of this in motion. That made the stepdaddy a trend. That, because I understand that at one point it did have some nobility, but when it went left, it never came back. And this is like at the point where it's finally being reset, because men have, like, nobody has the lowest standard of exception for their women like black men. Nobody. They already sitting back saying, how many kids you got? You shouldn't even have to ask that. But it's realistic after a certain age in your life, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can do too.
Huh?
Niggas saying shit like I can do too.
I can do too. Yeah. Yeah. It's like betting the spades game. You know what I'm saying? I can get 2 books.
And they hate Marco guts. Marco showed that little Korean Filipino woman. Man, they go, boo! They gonna throw tomatoes at your motherfucking ass. You can't duck fast enough.
Because when I just got back like 4 days ago, and it's funny. It's funny if you go shopping for example, you go shopping in the Philippines. This is a sidebar. Y'all remember the clothing brand FUBU, right?
Yeah.
You know what it stands for, right?
For us by you.
For us by us. For us by us.
Yeah.
For us by us. You know that don't get any play in the United States.
Mm-mm.
You know who buys that now?
Over there?
Hell yeah. That's a brand. That's a brand.
That big over there too.
Say again?
They say Carl Kanai's still huge over there.
No, not Carl Kanai, but FUBU. Everybody is buying it. And I went to ask. I asked one of the Filipinos. I said, "Do y'all even know what that means?" No, we've been rocking this for years. And I'm like, damn, why can't our own people sit there and rock the same shit? And it was supposed to be for us.
Didn't they sell it though?
They sold part of it. He still owns 15% of that company.
But
that's the reason why he's still getting those residuals.
We too trendy. You know what I'm saying? We really should be still rocking the brands, the Walker-Wears, the brands that were built for us. But we so trendy, G. We just trendy.
But we're trendy for who though?
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't us.
Yeah, not them, not us. It's them. Yeah, definitely. And I was like you go to any shopping mall, like the biggest mall in Asia called the Mall of Asia. They got a FUBU store.
Wow. I wouldn't mind seeing that just to see it.
You get what I'm saying? And then the number one sport in the Philippines is basketball.
Yep.
They all trying to be like us.
Okay, so you in the Philippines.
I was in the Philippines. My wife is from the Philippines, Manila.
Okay. Manila.
That's number like a 4-hour flight.
Okay.
That's a 4-hour flight. I go there to chill. I see brothers, we talk and converse, you know what I'm saying? Some of the vets, some of my Masonic brothers and everything. And we chill and chop it up.
Okay.
All respect. And everybody's on the same wavelength. yeah, man, I'm trying to buy a house with my lady and everything like that. I got some kids, we're raising them up, doing all this stuff over here, doing things, you know, saying with purpose. And so all this stuff to try to be flashy and trying to, you know, impress X, Y, and Z. The number one thing we need to be trying to impress is our bank accounts and our investments.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what we need to be impressing, man. Like all this right here, it's like there's an analogy. Sometimes we're like goats. We like to be attracted to shiny things.
Yeah.
Why? Because at the end of the day, what are we passing on to the next generation that we're trying to sit there and bring up?
Bad example.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at some of the most wealthiest individuals in the world, they look ragged. The clothes that they wear, they look like, hey, that look like Walmart right there, but their bank account ain't Walmart.
Yeah, that's my grandfather. He's a perfect example of that.
You know what I'm saying?
They all drive that Honda pickup truck too.
Yeah.
Or some that pay.
Y'all know that Honda pickup truck I'm talking about?
Which truck?
They got a pickup truck.
You talking about the Honda pickup truck?
Yeah, that plain Jane pickup truck. Every time I see somebody in one of them, they got some money. They got some boat shoes and they wearing a golf polo that came straight out of Ross.
Got them Sperry's on.
Yeah, with the Sperry's.
You know, it's just how we as men, we need to prioritize ourselves.
Exactly.
And once we prioritize ourselves in the way that we need to, the right person and how we pick will actually dictate our relationships.
I don't understand how you go to a third world country and pick a bad bitch. Like I just don't understand.
No, you could go to Africa. I got brothers in Africa. Shit. Bad.
He said he's finna move to Africa.
But it's the thing.
No, the old man moved to Africa. He was there. He was living in Ghana.
He's talking about me. But your old man ain't got the kind of game I got. I don't know what I wouldn't go to a place.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't go to a motherfucking place where the bitches want to be like black bitches in America. I'm trying to get to a village somewhere. You know, I'm trying to go to an elder. I'm trying to be with a girl that know how to kill goats. I don't want to be with a bitch that's trying to get a BBL and a motherfucking wig like one of the bitches she saw on Instagram in America. That's not what I'm on.
Yo, I'm finna leave to it, man. I gotta go take care of something, man. Great chopping it up with y'all, fam.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it.
You dig what I'm saying? We chop it up real soon, fellas. Y'all be easy, man. Great meeting you fellas, fam.
For sure. Man, good seeing you.
Love, peace, bro.
Yeah.
My advice, Dontre, is find somebody that is appreciate having something. What I mean by that is find somebody that the way we see poverty in America can sometimes be considered as luxury somewhere else. You know, we have safety nets. I've seen abject poverty. Find you somebody that actually respects and appreciates, even if you throw $1 or $2, that they're appreciative and they'll learn to invest that they are caretakers of your money. Because at the end of the day, women are hypergamous and they're breadwinners, and we are the breadwinners. So you just got to find that one that's going to appreciate what you bring in her life and find a way to, keep and forsake that, your energy. That's the one. That's the main thing that you got to actually look into, and don't look over everybody else that's trying to sit there and be flashy right now, but in the long run, it's going to put you in financial turmoil. That's my 2 cents of it. Period. Like I said, when I told my wife, I said, you need to look at this right here. I want to be debt free, sucker free. I want to owe nobody a dime. I meant that. And she took that and she says, oh yeah, I'm on this. We're going to run it. I don't owe anybody anything. Matter of fact, I told my son. Matter of fact, she taught my son when I was not around. Hey, you need to. Hey, when you sit there become an adult, get on that ramen noodle diet and put money in and start saving your money. Figure out how to invest your money, so you won't be in the same situation as everybody else. My son could tell you to this day, he has friends that are graduating college right now, scared shitless because they got the mountains of debt and they don't know they have a guarantee on the job. And that's how the system enslaves you into working for them and not for yourself.
Yep.
Number one thing coming out of your paycheck as a brother need to be doing is you need to pay yourself. We pay everybody else, but we never pay ourselves for the hard work that we do.
True.
We never pay. And how do we pay ourselves? Learn to save, learn to invest, learn to sit there and have an end game and do some goal setting. That's something that's never taught to me. And I'm pretty sure in the audience, not a lot of people got taught the same thing by their parents or whoever raised them, because guess what? We all came from, I don't know about you, but I literally came from Section 8 food stamps and all that good shit, the pink bags. I don't want to be like that. Fuck all that. I'd rather say, hey, if there's an emergency come around, hell, I got to sit there and replace the battery in my car. I can go ahead and just throw the cash. When these landowners over here in the Philippines ask how we going to pay for this land or whatever, I said cash. They start dropping the price down because cash is more important than getting the banks to financial shit.
Yeah, especially overseas. If you got cash, man, they go ahead and talk to you right away because they can do so much more with American currency.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Liquid.
Yeah, love that
currency in another country. Shh.
Yeah, they love that.
You stimulating the GDP. You know, when you go somewhere else.
I tell you this. I told my wife. I said, yeah, tell them we're gonna pay cash right now up front. These mugs, hello, sir. How you doing, sir? Oh, boy. showing all your 32.
Yeah, they want to meet
you. So like I said, men with purpose you're gonna be able to find you a woman with purpose. Don't find nobody that's I want you at your end game. I want you ready now, because a lot of women nowadays want you made ready man. And they're not trusting in their process, especially stateside. Like one woman, I remember when I've been here for Korea for like 2 years. When I was back stateside, a woman was like, hey, you got all this stuff like this. Can you do this, this, and this, and this? I said, no, you weren't there during the process. So why the hell I'll be fucking with you to begin with?
Yeah, they think they get an automatic bid.
So that's we have to start teaching to have that mindset. Women gonna come, that's easy, but the type of woman that you want, that's the hard part.
Yeah,
we get so attracted to the superficial shit, but deep down, is that person for you?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Deep down, is that person really for you? Probably not. Because guess what? If you was to sit there and take a fall, would that person be able to build you up? Probably not. They're gonna probably look on to the next.
They can't help you. If they can't help you, then you shouldn't even be in no position with them. And sometimes just help is like simply just not taking away my opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have some ups and downs. Life ain't perfect and none of that stuff, but you just don't need nobody that's gonna stop you from scoring. Issa, no. What you got to say, brother? I seen you take your mic off for a second. Come on in here.
Yeah, I'm like I said from the beginning, I just wanted to sit back and hear what everybody had to say.
Yeah.
Because like I'm 52. So a lot of the things that were being expressed, I done already seen it like 3, 4, 5 times. But the advantage that I have is that I'm still youthful, Like I'm still able to move around and navigate. So I done seen every part of everything that was said. And you know, personally, like Pimpin' Ken is like my homie. You understand? Right. So it's one of them things, like I just sat back and I watched and I listened to what brothers were saying. But I done been married twice, divorced twice. I got 7 kids by 5 different women. So I wasn't necessarily speaking from I'm gonna get toe up out here. I done already got toe up.
Yeah.
But the thing that I was trying to express was there's a wisdom that comes from that. And the wisdom that I was trying to impart ended up being brought out in the conversation when my brother Marco started talking. And once Marco, he let it be known, what I was trying to say was, instead of taking these opportunities and these conversations to constantly go at the women, it's like, we already know they fucked up. We know that already. So what profited us for 2 hours worth of conversation, regurgitating what we already know? The biggest key we need to take away from this whole thing is focus on self. And when I said monkey see, monkey do, right? Subconsciously, women have been taught to fight for their independence from us. That was the feminist movement headed by Gloria Steinem. Even Maya Angelou, the great Maya Angelou, got on board and was holding hands with Gloria Steinem.
Alice Walker, all of them, they were ops.
And so once we know that, and those of us that have studied this information, we have to go covert in our ops. We have to come with an intelligence that's counterintelligence. All right. And as long as we just keep talking about, oh, she won't make me a sandwich, or oh, they don't listen, or oh, it's this and it's that. No. My thing is, I'm no longer hoodwinked by the minimal qualifications that we have for our women. All right. Once upon a time, a home cooked meal, like I was saying, a little bit of sex, and keep a clean house, and you were able to, you know what I'm saying, secure a man. But that was in the generations before now. And the reality of it is now the bar is higher. Like Marco, when you told your wife, like, hey man, like this is where I'm headed, and this is where I'm at with things, and this is what I'm trying to do. And you actually had a plan and a format, and you sat her down and was like, now, is you with this? She said yes. You established you wasn't going to tolerate. And that's where we've been going wrong as men. Our power is in the fact that, okay, go ahead and do it yourself. All right. But if you need your gutters cleaned out, you're going to have to pay me. If you need your tire changed, you're going to have to pay me. If you need any services that's going to require me and my body, it's my body, my choice when it comes to whether I'm going to be cutting your grass and training your son, and or it's my body and my choice, just like it's their body, their choice when it comes to bringing life onto the planet, whether we had a choice in that or not. So they can have a child and we ain't got no say so, but the only say so we have is over our seed, right? And our ability to plant seed, and the fact that we are planters, okay? And because we're planters, we know when I plant a seed, right, I'm not gonna dig it up every 3 days to see how much it's been grown. Only women do that, because women aren't planters. Women are the soil. So if she allows, and any woman allows, for a man to plant a seed and let another man come behind and dig that seed up, or she dig it up to want to see how it's going to grow, right? That's the biggest indicator that they're not planters. And us as the planters, we just have to be more cognizant of where we planting our seeds. And I ain't just talking about our sons. I'm talking about our intellectual property, our thoughts, our ideas, our visions, our plans. Don't plant them seeds where they're not going to grow. And us as planters and farmers, like, that's our responsibility. But since we've shifted from the South and the sharecropping and back in the days where we came from, right? See, we so far removed from the allegorical aspect of planting, harvesting, watering, and letting it grow. See, we done got away from that. We done got lazy. So now as men, the only power that we have is to stand 10 toes on what we believe in. No, I'm not going to move my boundaries for sex. I'm not going to compromise and give you my money and you're not taking care of the vision. I'm not doing none of that. So any woman that's not with that program, as a man, I stand 10 toes, and a man can stand alone. And once women understand this principle, and this is what I want to leave with the women, the longer we as men are made to survive and balance our emotions and take care of ourselves by ourselves, the less we're going to need you. And that's the bottom line. Because once a man becomes whole and once a man is standing on 10, it's like this. The only thing you can do is come to that man and say, whatever you like. You have to add comfort. You have to add all of the things that's going to make me a better man. Other than that, why we keep signing up for it? For some sex? For her to make me a sandwich? For her to be this domesticated version of my 3 sons and all this shit we grew up watching TV, Claire Huxtable and all that? I don't need none of that. What I need a woman to do, and what every man needs a woman to do, is pay attention to me. Most of us are overactive thinkers. Any man that has a purpose and has something to build and knows what his purpose is, we don't rest. Our minds don't shut down. We are all day, every day, 24 hours a day, thinking about how to manifest our deeper, innermost purpose. So a woman's job, and as the comforter and the helpmate, is not to help us in the physical work. And this is where they got hoodwinked and bamboozled. So they got their ass out here and they want to do what we can do, Rosie the Riveter and all this old goofy shit. That's not the work that's not the vineyard that you were supposed to be working in. The vineyard that they are designed to work in was the ability to help us shut our minds off, our ability to relax, paying attention to me to the point where if I get to saying too much, just rub my shoulders subtly, rub my head where it snaps me out of that, and then I just go into a state. Once our women start moving like that and understand that that's the work, that's the job you're not clocking in for, that's the church you're not worshiping at, that's the dishes that ain't getting done, that's the laundry that ain't getting washed, folded, and put away. Once they start understanding the real work, any man that's a man that lives single, I got a laundry service, so I don't need no woman to come in my crib and do my laundry. Everything that they made valuable once upon a time, that's no longer valuable. We can DoorDash food. I can eat 5-star gourmet and have it delivered to my house, and it's cheaper than buying groceries and having somebody cook as a single man. So the standard now is, okay, so you can cook. So what? You can't cook better than Ruth Chris, and I can eat Ruth Chris every day if I want. I can eat whatever I want. I can get my clothes washed whenever I want. And when you have sexual discipline, rule number 5, right? Now it doesn't even matter if you lay down with me or not. So now what is your value, and what is it that would warrant me to want to spend the rest of my life with you?
Mm-hmm. Come on, man. And
Once again,
look,
I agree. It's big discipline. I'm sorry, Viz. It's big discipline and financial discipline. That's just the recipe for success. And it took me to my 30s, to my upper 30s, to actually realize that. You know,
Absolutely.
You have to be able to have that foundation. It's sort of like an architect, that you have what's called what stonemason used to have was called a trestle board. You got to have that vision. You have to have that blueprint in order to impart this idea to espouse for somebody that's going to be a part of your team. If you don't have a blueprint, then you need to hold off until you're actually able to develop your blueprint in life, especially for men. A lot of times we have not even a lot of times, a majority of times, men do not have their blueprint to their upper 20s and their lower 30s. Okay, I don't want to do this. I need to have this. This is what my end state is. We're all here trying to focus on the here and now, what's flashy or what's in front of us. You know, You know, we don't want to sit there and we want the fruits of the labor, but we don't want to do the labor. You get what I'm saying? We have to realize that there's a process for this stuff. And trying to get somebody, and I told my son, I said, your helpmate, you're 20 years old. You think those same women right now, those same age right now, looking at you right now? No, because they want somebody that's ready-made. You're not ready-made. So until you are ready-made, you need to be focused on your grind. Your helpmate is probably about a couple years from now will probably be young and catch you on that. But right now, you don't need to be focused on any of that. You need to be focused on, hey, getting that roof over your head, clothes on your back, getting those residuals for you to set yourself up to receive you a helpmate. And then when you do get your helpmate, you need to be able to sit there and pick the right one, and you need guidance. And that's a lot, and that's the number one thing that is hurting us as brothers in the community, is that we lack the guidance because our predecessors didn't provide it to us. So we have to break that cycle and start setting that guidance now. If not, the cycle will still continue in ad nauseum. We're gonna have the same conversation 10 years from now till brothers start stepping up and finding these safe spaces and communities necessary to set brothers right. And somebody has to be that pebble and that ripple in order for that to start.
Yep.
Hey, Marco, how old are you? How old are you, Square?
Shoot, I'm no but like a couple years younger than Viz over there, about 41.
You 41?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Square.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
And I caught on to what you did right there, brother.
Oh, I know you saw it.
Yeah, it's like that's everything that I talk about. It comes off of what Marco can speak on is, and I love the fact that he's up here because I didn't ask him to come up here. I just opened up the platform, and you know what I'm saying. And I know he's been following my content for a long time, and he's one of my military guys. And you know, we used to have a safety briefing before a long weekend, before any weekend, and part of the safety briefing was, you know, don't drink and drive. If something happened, contact your first line supervisor. And if you're going to have sex, make sure you're having sex with your spouse because fraternization is a big deal, right? When you expand that conversation and all of the things that you guys were just talking about, this is what I was going to pull up because I want to go through the rules of accountable masculinity for some of the people that may have not known about this prior to. And to all the guys that's on YouTube that's tuning in, I appreciate you. I'm going to get to the chat in a minute, but I want to go through this before we do that. So a lot of the conversation you guys were just talking about was about men focusing on themselves. And this is rule number 1. Men focus on men. Personal accountability standards amongst reasonable men without degrading women to improve our society. You know, that's exactly what Issa was talking about, hands down, you know, when it comes down to it. And Marco, you echoed that too. And this what's important about this, both of you guys are going to end up seeing the agreement that you already have signed up for as I go through these rules, because this is the way you move, and it's the only way that you can, you know what I'm saying, move forward. Rule number 2, we don't argue with women. Women have their own issues, and so do men. We can learn to mitigate our issues by observing the conflict management skills of women. If you look at women and you take men out of all of their problems, women have major problems by themselves, and they ain't got nothing to do with race. You know what I'm saying? Their behavior, if men modeled the behavior of women, we would be very, very destructive. And that is part of the reason why we're having this conversation, because so many men that have been left without male guidance and well into their 30s and 40s and still trying to figure things out. And they've had a lot of unnecessary conflicts, just like women have along that journey. Rule number 3 is decentralized leadership. Requires knowing when to lead and when to follow. You must avoid misrepresenting fellow men. And although we're not perfect, we must have redeeming efforts. And if you're on your purpose, you're gonna make some mistakes. But if your purpose is more important than your fetishes, you're gonna have an opportunity to apologize and make up your ground. Would anybody disagree with that? Okay. Rule number 4, legacy and equity. Live a life of service towards your community and others. You must be credible and capable of both mentoring and being mentored. You must be receptive and coachable. Everybody can teach somebody something. Don't dismiss anybody. You know what I'm saying? You can learn from everybody. Even if they're a bad example, you can learn what a bad example looks like and not do it. and by far, the most important one, this is the one that gives away all your leverage. Men must exercise sexual discipline to be seen as credible leaders and maximize their opportunities. How many stories have we seen with Shannon Sharp, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Puffy? This is the number one thing to get you out the paint, because it don't even have to be true. Somebody can make up a lie about you, and now your whole trajectory is turned. You know what I'm saying? Like Shannon Sharp, I use him as a current example. He had a deal on the table for $100 million for a podcast, and that's off the table. Then ESPN had to pay out $50 million to an OnlyFans model on his behalf, right? Then he getting sued because for 20 some million because he wouldn't take down some piece of video that he used as content that had the wrong message behind it. I think it's falling like the libel, slander, and defamation of character situation. But when it rains, it pours. People pick you apart when they have the opportunity to do so. And then what he ended up doing in his disparagement of Black women in his process, he ended up creating generational wealth for a woman that ain't even in his ethnic group. For 20 some years, she hit a lick for something she'd been doing, you know.
Retired.
Yeah, retired the whole family and put everybody on. You know what I'm saying? Whatever her situation is, but all she was doing was being her promiscuous self because he was promiscuous. So you're gonna keep attracting the same type of people. That's why I keep telling people, especially men, dog, it ain't just vagina. It is witchcraft if you got the wrong woman, straight up. And it all amounts to this right here: sudden, sexually undisciplined dating decisions ending negatively. Name something that you've done perfectly suddenly. You can't do it. Discipline is the cure. And I'm talking about emotional discipline. What's going on up here? We talk about emotional intelligence, but if you don't have any emotional discipline, you can't even access your emotional intelligence. So we need to spend more time studying ourselves, obviously. That's what this is about. That's why I love the way Issa rounded everything up with that, you know what I'm saying, with his point of view, because we need to be able to hear our eldermen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 46 and I'm gonna listen. Man, 52 years old. He got a whole 6 years of life that I ain't never experienced. So we have to demonstrate the type of respect and appreciation that we want to be recognized with by the women that we care about, you know? And that's not always easy to do, because it's easy for us to do because we respect whatever it is that we respect. But we have to set the foundation from a credible position in our own relationships so that, you know what I'm saying, we can practice what we preach and apply it and then get the benefit from it. Now, it ain't gonna always look pretty every day, obviously, but the whole point of it is having a plan to do so, you know, respectfully. So that's what I wanted to say before, you know what I'm saying, I got to the chat, you know. So any of you guys want to add?
Did you notice, Vic, one thing I want to point out when men are talking? The whole entire panel, none of us talked over each other.
Men have code.
Also, you know me as a master as far as how to get some shit going.
Right.
So I threw something out there and I let it ride. And I said from the onset, I'm going to say this and I'm going to sit back and I just want to listen to what y'all got to say, right? Nobody overtalked nobody. Nobody got offended by nothing anybody was saying. Nothing went into an argument. Them brothers voiced their disagreement with me. I sat respectfully and didn't say nothing until the end of the show. And one thing about what I thought the show was about was the effect that single mothers had on us and how we picking our women is what I thought we were talking about. So I think maybe that's where I maybe had the topic misunderstood because I came in late. But there's something that my father said growing up that has stuck with me. And he said, son, if you go out in this world with bitch ways, all you gonna get is fucked. Okay. And when he said those words to me, I was probably around 14 years old. And at that time, I didn't understand what he was saying. Now, as a grown man, I understand exactly what he was saying. When he's saying bitch ways, when men is talking, men don't argue. Men respectfully disagree. Okay. And that's based off of emotional discipline, as you alluded to. All right. I don't feel offended by nobody's take on what I was saying, me expressing how I felt about whatever we was talking about, whether I understood the topic or not. I didn't feel the need to defend my position. I still don't. I don't feel the need to counter, but I do feel, and I did feel the need to feel that energy. And like I was saying, once we understand everything that we are going to manifest is going to come from the point within the circle. And if you can't get to that point within the circle, you ain't going to never understand that the world is round and flat at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what we're dealing with here. You got one person that's drawing a 6. Yeah, it's going to look like a 9 to you from where you sitting. It's a 6 to me. Mm-hmm. You understand? So at the end of the day, once we realize that, right, we understand that everything comes from within. So whatever you think about, whatever our dreams are, whatever we want to manifest as brothers, right, if we all lock in and meditate on the same idea and believe it and know it, and it's actually really, really real, it has no choice but to manifest. Like I told you, Vic, I'm coming to Texas, right?
Come on now.
It's becoming more and more real every day, where it's like my uncle lived in Dallas, you understand? So it's like I grew up in Dallas. So it's like when I'm telling you I'm coming, it's becoming real. So it's only a matter of time before it manifests itself. And the same thing applies with this fight that we got going on with our women. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It means nothing. Is we collectively as men decide this is what's going to happen. It's going to boil down to what they believe versus what we believe. And whoever's believing in truth, righteousness, and what's just and what's going to put our race where we're supposed to be, ultimately, that's the only thing that's going to come to pass, period.
Yeah, and it's all truth, because it's like, if you know the truth, you don't have a reason to defend it. And that's why, like, man, you've seen all the resistance that I've gotten with my content over the years, you know, and I'm sure most people have. And I came out saying, hey, you acting like you got your daddy's last name. I mean, your mama's last name. You know what I'm saying?
You was getting them with that one.
I had to kill them with it because I had to get their attention. And then when they say, oh, that's not always true, I'm like, well, you act like you grew up seeing your mama naked. And that's true too. You know what I'm saying? Because I know these things. So I don't have to sit back and defend it. And then the minute I started saying that, there was a lot of people who was like, man, you know what? I saw that too. Then next thing you know, people inbox me say, man, you open up my eyes to a whole lot of stuff. The only thing that's going to open your eyes is a reality check, bro. A reality check. Everything else is just trauma bonded. If you just have any circular conversations where everybody's got the same negative experience that doesn't end in a solution. If you're just talking about the problem without a solution, you're trauma bonding. And if you got the ability to get what you want, then you don't need to complain.
Gosh.
If you got the ability to get what you want, then you shouldn't complain, because complaints come from two spaces. You either don't qualify or you can't afford it. Because people that can afford it are not going to complain. It doesn't even matter. Like, if you at a restaurant, why would you stand in line at a restaurant where they're underserving you, right? No, if they won't even sit, you might as well go to a different restaurant if you can afford to eat out. So this is the same thing, you know. And as far as the type of people that you should be working with, you should only work with people that respect you. And that's down to, you know, like even when you know, like Martin Luther King, he used to say, I judge people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. You know, when he put that piece in there, that's universal. That has nothing to do with race. It has more to do with your behavior. And having been in the military, you know what I'm saying? Marco, he can vouch for this, you know. The military removes all of that. I mean, it's still a factor on a human level, of course, right? That's never not going to be a factor. But you can get to where you're going if your behavior is in alignment with what you're after. If you want to go out here and you want to live your life like a YN, smoking perk, drinking lean, waiting till you know, like up in age to start doing some stuff that you should have did when you got off the porch a long time ago, you're not going to be out here very long. And it's real easy to be derailed off your purpose. You know what I'm saying? With a couple of little distractions here and there. And the only reason that we know that that's truth is because we've seen it and we've experienced it to some degree. You know, you dealing with, if you deal with people that cannot control their sexual discipline, they are untrustworthy people. It doesn't even matter if they're man or woman, because man, look, earlier I had posted Scarface. Scarface was one of the greatest simps of all time. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to define that, because like when we was talking on our conversation on the Grace of Men, y'all guys go check it out. I'll post a link in the chat. A simp and a pick-me is the same thing. They both are pursuing attention from somebody that doesn't like them and doesn't respect them. They're making you perform for their affection and their respect or whatever. And it's only performative. It's not honest. So when you think about Scarface, he knocked off a guy and married his girl, you know, and he was willing to go through some crazy extremes to fulfill, you know what I'm saying, the aesthetics of what he thought things should look like. He was performing for the love of his mother. She wouldn't accept his money. Remember when he had made that bag and he tried to give her some money? She said, I don't want that dirty money over here, right? She was cool with living below her means, and you know what I'm saying, in a some level of poverty, right? Versus taking some negative money that would have brought a whole lot of friction to her life. He went crazy about his sister and Manolo. He told him, say, hey, don't hump my sister. And even then, as whorish as she was, she went against the grain too, because she was being a pick-me, you know, just to upset the fabric of everything, to maintain attention that she thought that she deserved no matter what. And so we have to separate the entertainment value from the character value of a lot of things, because in the absence of maybe the grit that you wish your father could have had if he didn't have it or not, some of us ain't it's a lot of guys is not blessed with, number one, having men in their life that was accountable. I'm not dismissing that at all, you know, because a lot of it has to do with the men that their mothers chose to bring into their life. And that set a template too. That is an absolute variable. But now it's time to come from underneath all of that. It really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, accept that the way that you've been choosing your significant others has a lot to do with the imprint that you got from your mother. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know how to register another woman's behavior without your mother, you know, until you have a reality check from somebody else that's getting different outcomes. You can't be something you was not raised to be until you accept where you are. So I like where you started at, Easton, and this goes back to the Facebook post, you know, like you tried to inspire that part of the conversation that you just got off right there. Focus on the man you're trying to become. Not the man that other people think you should be. The man that you could be, that doesn't lose sleep at night for the choices he makes, that has the patience that goes along with what he's working on, and the belief in himself that other people can't see, and they can't take away your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be in a position of leverage intellectually for what you're trying to accomplish, because if everybody goes away, you still got to have ownership of your vision, because can't nobody else advertise you like you. It's not their vision. It's your responsibility, your obligation, your duty.
Hey, Viz, I agree with that 100%. And
Salute.
I love your rules, man. It aligns with a lot of principles that I'm gonna be honest with me and brother Issa actually try to impart and actually live by. And that when I was going through your rules, I was like, yeah, that right here checks this block right here. Different verbiage, same meaning and same concept to be able to digest that we need to impart with our younger brothers and include ourselves into it if we are deficient in areas in our lives. So
Absolutely.
kudos to you and shout out to you. And like I said, I don't like young brother said before. I got that already.
Yeah, not you. I'm talking to the audience, the YouTube audience. Hey, the link is in the YouTube channel in the description, by the way.
And another book I would part two would be those Robert's Rules of Order. The Robert's Rules of Order teaches how men is supposed to be able to conduct ourselves. We don't have to sit there and be in a space and be at each other's throats. We could be at one accord and allow everybody's thoughts and experiences collide with one another in a healthy manner, to where everybody learns from a piece from this brother right here. We can find similarities and differences, and we harness on those similarities, and we find how we can make each other better. But I love this forum. I love it. Shout out to every one of you, especially shout out to you, Viz. I got to be able to bounce here. I got to do something special for some brothers, to include my son here in about 4 hours. They're going through their path right now. They're building their operative and speculative paths right now. And I just got off the phone with my wife. She got an update on this land I'm about to buy. Here's straight cash. So kudos to you.
That's a hell of a flex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Nice to meet you, Marco, man. We'll talk soon.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna bring my son on here because he needs to hear this. It's good to hear it from me, but hear it from other brothers is a multiplier in his, especially in his young life. You know, he's young right now, 20, trying to go through life, trying to figure out things, and he can understand different perspectives, different life perspectives. You know what I mean? But right now, I gotta get him to where he needs to be right now on his journey that he's going through right now.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a blessing because I got right now in about 3 hours, I got 5 brothers right now that are following the path that I'm going through right now. I got five young brothers, and I get calls from them all the time. Hey, brother Mark. Hey, how can I do this, and this? I said, well, quit focus on that girl right there. She was meant for you. She'll be meant for. She'll be there for you. If not, you got to keep it moving, man, because we got to grow. At the end of the day, we got to continually grow and continue to learn to evolve and how to develop ourselves as men, not the men of the past now, breaking cycles, but the men that we're supposed to be, that we was meant to be historically. And you can read between the lines on that. But in order to do that, we have to have that mentality to actually be able to do so. And right now, in the current situation that we have right now, it just seems like we're a spiral effect on the path that we actually supposed to be taking. So thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it, brothers. Much love. Hey, over here across the pond. Hey, anytime y'all have these forums, I'm definitely down to converse and share and receive these ideas that y'all actually have. Because, like I said, this has been a blessing.
Yes, sir. I'm
All right, bless you,
I see you in the WhatsApp group, man. I start dropping the links there, and for everybody that's watching, I want you guys to do the same thing too. In the meantime, I want to go through some of these comments because the YouTube watchers have been engaged and consistent, man. I want to make sure that we honor them as well. So shout out to the people that's on the Facebook chat too. You know, hey, keep up the good work. Hey, appreciate that, Johnny. Appreciate that. man, where else did we go to? I want y'all to make sure y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe, get the notifications to everything too, because I don't want y'all to miss an opportunity to come up here, impart some wisdom on the rest of the world, and also receive some too, man. So we got a lot of big networks, you know what I'm saying, where people know a lot of things, and sometimes it just take a conversation to focus you. But Marty been hanging in there. It says self-preservation is the only preservation. Convenience make you stupid. Self-preservation encourages integrity as well as intelligence. All of that is underneath the discipline mindset. All of it. Because, man, what do you think about that, Issa?
Hey, man, it was a very productive opportunity. I just so happened to be on days this week, so I got to tap in. But I appreciate you providing this platform, and you going places, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep plugging any way I can help, man. When I got the time, I'm going to tap in.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
Yep. All right, man. Yeah, appreciate you, Marty, for being in the conversation. Let's see what else you got up here. When both people have no self-preservation skills, you can leverage dependency. Yep. Somebody's going to always be a leech. I always say, if they need you, they going to bleed you. If they need you, they going to bleed you. Get somebody that wants you. And by want comes from a position of power and authority, meaning that you have the option to not want to. So when you're dealing with people on a want basis, you're usually going to be more appreciative of them. If they need you, they're going to bleed you. So I took care of a child. Teddy B said I took care of a child for 2.5 years until I found out she wasn't mine. It really is a struggle. Yeah, man. If you need some coaching, counseling, some help, some reassurance, man, don't be afraid to reach out. The email address is InternetStepDaddy@gmail.com. Seriously speaking, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the screen while I read these too, so you guys can have some sort of way to redirect if you want to. And also, don't be afraid to bless the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to hit that up as well, because we're trying to grow the platform. Y'all heard what he said, man. I'm not a big time content creator, but I plan on having an impact every time that I turn this camera on and decide to talk and invite people up here to the show. And because all of us have an impact for somebody or someone. So yeah, if you need any type of additional reassurance, coaching, counseling, you know what I'm saying, small group type stuff, hit me up, email me and tell me what the issue is, or we can set up a time and go coordinate from there. Team Black Pino said you need to look for women with purpose. I'm trying to get this thing to come up. Here we go. You need to look for anybody in your life needs to be useful, and not in a negative way, not in a controlling way, but useful in terms of the fact that they add value. When people talk about adding value, this is what we're talking about. You need to be useful and impactful, and you need to be able to say, I can take something off the plate. Not what you bring to the table. When we switch the conversation from what you bring to the table to what can I take off your plate and what can you take off of mine, then we're having a better conversation about what we need to do with the best versions of ourselves. Because you don't want to give the best version of yourself to someone that doesn't appreciate you. Enough of that has already happened, and that's what created this conversation right here. Let's see here. Never been able to date a woman that I didn't already hit. Never been on a date with a woman I didn't already hit. Yeah, bro. At some point, you got to change your zip code, Let's see here. Here we go. There we go. Women want affection, attention without accountability. Unfortunately, the men are not going to stop giving women attention. Attention without accountability, especially to the women in their family. Man, Issa would be great to talk about this right now, but he spoke about it before. And the fact that he spoke about it before, you can go find it on the Accountable Masculinity platform. It's an episode called The Grace of Men, and it's the first episode with Issa Ali. So the guy that my brother that just got off last before he got off the show. And let's see here. And the reality is, let's see what we got going on right here. See if we can get this to register. I apologize for some of the technical glitches that we're having right now. I don't control the internet. I just control what I put on it. So appreciate you guys' patience. Reality is most men defend bad behavior for women. I believe that the men that fit this behavior are generally raised by women that behave poorly. That's it. I do believe that there are some men that reward bad behavior because they're more focused on trying to get in between the legs. Those men are always going to exist. And I would say, just like you wouldn't hang around women like that, you shouldn't even really you should put certain boundaries in place, because if you have men like that that are around you, their allegiance is to sexual gratification. They are sexually undisciplined men. And generally speaking, sexually undisciplined men are going to be untrustworthy, because when it all boils down and it's you or them, and whatever criteria they got to decide what's important enough to throw you under the bus, they'll do it for some vagina. That's my take on it. And again, I greatly appreciate you guys for watching the show and staying to the end. And like, share, and subscribe. And I'm about to get out of here, man. All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm. That's when life actually happens.